Hello everyone. Did you miss me? It's Merm, and we're back in the Create Mod world. You may be wondering where I am right now. I'm actually at cave base that we started with our cobblestone generator that's hidden back there. We started that last episode. I just made this little walkway area. If you remember, this elevator was disconnected from that part of the main cave, so I wanted to make just a place for me to run through here. You may be seeing those particle effects and stuff. I added soul speed to my boots, and so there's some soul sand hidden underneath these slabs, so I can just run really quickly all the way down here when I get in. So yeah, it's pretty simple. It's just decorative, but I do got some big plans today. So first of all, with the cobblestone generator we made, I made up a bunch of stone, and I was able to paint over the whole area stone here, so it's all flat gray right now. No specks, no granite, no diorite, none of that. All stone right. And it's not going to stay that way. I am going to pretty it up later, but I just, like I said, I wanted a blank slate to start off of. But for now, today, I have a build project planned. I know I never finished the pillar I talked about with the cobblestone generator. That'll happen eventually. I want to do a real build today. So the plan is I'm going to make a power plant kind of thing, because it's like so far in the series I've used the water wheel everywhere. These guys, I have a stupid amount of them down here. I've used water wheels to power like everything because they're simple and convenient, but they don't, eventually you get to a point of usage where you're just spamming like so many of them. And I feel like that's wrong, and I want to engage with the mod a little bit. So there's the steam engines, and we're going to make a steam engine power plant that's also going to double as a super smelter kind of thing for this area. And so it's going to be up against this wall somewhere. I don't know if I want it down there or up there yet. I don't know. I'm going to decide, but I got all the materials here. So yeah, let's get going. I'm going to do a little build montage. Let's make us a power plant. Also, forgive me for any weird distortions or anything in my mic. I'm experimenting with my settings again, as I've been doing a lot recently. Okay, sorry for that. Let's continue and let's build this dang power plant. All right, what's up, y'all? This is Merm in post-editing right now, and this next part, I did a few things that are kind of like vanilla content, and then it was like a lot of stuff, and then I ended up deciding that I think that this is not good content. So I'm gonna put it in like 3 times speed and cut it up and recap what happened so we can get to the actually interesting stuff. Hopefully that makes sense. So let's get rolling here. I'm doing this completely improv. Here we go. So here's me making a wither, and you see the pause there because I built it wrong. I think like the middle one needs to go last or something like that. Anyways, I finally got the wither up. If you can tell, I wanted a beacon. I wanted a beacon for haste. But then I also wanted a better pickaxe because I was going to be mining so much. And this is like to clear out the factory area. So I made a basic drill. These are like everywhere on YouTube. I know this is like create mod content, but it's not a big deal. So I made one of these drills to go get some netherite. It had an issue. You can see here lava would come through. That was because there was gravel up above and it didn't know how to handle that. I actually never fixed this, so this is still a problem I'm having right now. I just kind of lucked out and got enough netherite to get an ingot, so I just kind of gave up on it. So I was really annoyed at that point. So here you can see me struggling. But anyways, I got 4 netherite. I made my netherite ingot. I went and put it on the pickaxe, and then I realized that you need the templates, which I completely forgot were in the game because I'm kind of an old head. So anyways, I went to the nether and got a template. Here's me getting the template. And then, oh yeah, I have that tool trims thing. I applied a tool trim to it with a diamond to make it look kind of like a diamond pickaxe, so it looks kind of neat. And at some point I picked up an axolotl. This is me going to the caves, collect some iron. This is so I can actually use my beacon. So I mined for like a really long time. I got a bunch of iron and found a chicken jockey. Haha, is that still relevant? I don't know. And then I smelted up all the iron. And that was pretty much everything that happened. Here's me building the beacon, and that's it. Let's get back to it. All right, everyone, that is where I'm going to call it on building on this for now. You probably have noticed that this video took forever to come out. I've been building this thing for forever. I've been having some, I don't know if you'd call it burnout or whatever. I just haven't been motivated to build this. So, but I finally got it in a state where I can at least like start working in it. But I'll tell you a couple things that are kind of undone here as of right now. So I want to build like a platform, a support down here to keep it up. It's not going to be this ugly diorite forever. These are going to be extended like into rail tracks eventually, so that's just more stuff I have to build. That'll make it look better later down the road. These fans, I'm going to make them move. That's in the future as well, but I just haven't set that up yet. So that'll definitely make it look a lot cooler. So there's a lot more to be done on this build, so I'll definitely finish it up and show that off later. And I just realized I was going to put mud down here too, and I forgot to do that. Maybe I jumped the gun. Oh well. Yeah, let's just get going. I've had enough of building this for now. I feel like I had something else to say. I'm just going to keep going. So this is the interior. It's a little unfinished right now. This part is unfinished. I'm not really sure exactly how it's all going to be laid out on this part. But I do want to at least get our steam engine up and running before I end the episode today. So here's pretty much how I'm thinking this is going to go. So steam engine requires water, it requires lava, and the reason it requires lava is because I'm powering it with blaze burners. If you remember these from way back when, I need to power these with any like fuel source, but I'm going to use lava because it's renewable and easy to transport. And so there's a couple, we're going to use some new things, but first I just want to get this water and lava set up. So I'm probably going to need to get some power going, but I will at least show you kind of what I'm going to do here. As far as water goes, I think I'm just going to do like this or something like that. Yeah, and then it's just going to go right in. Hopefully that'll be enough. I'm not sure how like flow works, if that makes sense, like if this is going to supply enough water. We'll definitely have to see how that's going to go. And this is going to be where our lava is, and I'm going to do kind of the same thing. I'm going to put a input going in here, and then we're going to be coming from cauldrons that I'm going to have on this side here. I'm going to start with 5, although I'm assuming we're going to have to expand that at some point. So there's 5, and we're just going to use basic old dripstone. If I have, where did my dripstone's in here, I believe. I got my dripstone. And I'm going to decorate it with some deep slate. So I'm just going to, as we go along here, put some deep slate down. Maybe I'll use like the tiles. Let's get a bunch of those. And I'm just going to go kind of up like that. Get rid of this part over here, and we'll block out the corner. Right, so then our dripstone is going to be coming from a block. Oh man, this is going to be taller than I thought, actually. So we're going to want to go... That's where our dripstone is going to be coming from. So let's make that into, I don't know, the regular deep slate. Our dripstone comes from there. And then we're going to have to go one block above that to hold our lava. All right, so I hooked up some power here. I have them running at max speed, 256 RPM. We got 5 buckets in there right now. These do go pretty dang slow, so we're definitely gonna have to expand, but I left this whole area here to make more cauldrons, so that's in the future. I got the water hooked up. That filled up pretty much instantly, so definitely not gonna have to like make more pipes or whatever over there. So now I started somewhat laying out our steam engine. So this is where one of them is gonna go, I think, if everything works out like spatially. And I just put this in here just to kind of see what was going on. This will be used to bring our empty lava buckets back. But for now, I got to set up a station here to bucket the lava. And I've done this before. I just spout onto a bucket and put it into a barrel. It's pretty simple. So I'm just going to set that up really quick. Gonna maybe use water wheels to set this up. I might want to turn this part into something that runs off of the steam engine power, but it's annoying because like I need it to get the steam engine power, you know. So I don't know. We'll see what I decide. But I'm gonna set that up really quick, and then after that, my plan is we're gonna use weighted ejectors here. And so basically, I'm gonna keep a depot at the end that doesn't shoot anywhere, and then we're gonna have them set up to weighted ejectors. These are the things I use to like launch myself, but you can launch items too. There'll be one kind of at the end here with the finished lava buckets, and it'll shoot the bucket onto a depot. Then we're going to use one of these mechanical arms. These guys are kind of interesting. I'll show you how they work later, but basically they're going to take the buckets off the depot or the weighted ejector, put them into the blaze burner, and then we're going to deposit into a brass funnel, that thing. And that's just going to go onto the belt here. It's going to filter the empty buckets, and it's going to bring it back so they can get refilled again. And that's how that part is going to work. Hopefully that explanation makes some sense. I'll show you what it looks like once I have everything set up. All right, so I went ahead and got a little crazy here, and I basically set pretty much everything up. And I'm just going to go ahead and walk right through what I did for you here. It's really kind of simple. So I got power hooked up. That's to the same water wheels that I have hidden back there. And they're running our lava and our water, the reserve tanks over, so the water is going to the actual steam engine, and the lava is going over here to the spout where we're going to bucket it. I did put the steam engines on top. They're running slow right now because they can run off of just the default blaze burners. But you'll see it's 2048 stress units. We're going to multiply that by a lot by adding the heat to it. So that's the main reason why we're doing all this with the lava. It really improves the efficiency by a lot, especially for something that's, you know, somewhat renewable. I did test it earlier and had a little tap, so I have a bunch of lava buckets ready to go here that we're just going to add on to the pile here, and that's why this exists. Basically, the problem I was having. So here's how it's going to work. We're going to take our buckets from here. I have a whole bunch of buckets ready to go in. They're going to get spouted. They're going to get lava put into them. This is a weighted ejector. So if you remember that from the goblet build, that's what I used to launch me up there. It also launches items, so it's going to launch an item. It ends up hitting this pipe, which is kind of funny, but it also like slides right off it and down onto the depot here. And if I want to add more, I'm just going to change this to a weighted ejector, and they'll just kind of go across, and then the depot will just be whatever the last steam engine is. All right, so it goes onto our depot. We're going to place a mechanical arm here, which I'm going to do with you because we haven't used one of these yet. Pretty much the way this works, that moves items, and you set deposit and I don't know if you call it withdraw, but a place to pull from. So we're going to deposit to the blaze burners the lava buckets. We're going to deposit to this brass funnel. Then we're going to take items from the depot and we're just going to put it down. Then I'm going to take a filter, and I already have it set up. I have a bucket, so it's going to only let empty buckets in. And we're going to put this on here so that the regular lava buckets don't go on here. So only empty buckets are going to go onto this line. We're going to run the empty bucket back into this barrel where it can get refilled. and continue along the path here. Now the comparator here is because this was overflowing. So if I had a lava bucket here and another one came through, it would go on top and it would just sit here. So what the comparator is going to do is it's just going to check if we have an item on this depot here, and then if we do, it's going to run a redstone signal to the weighted ejector. That redstone interaction stops the weighted ejector, so it won't go then. I think that kind of explains everything here. So let's start throwing some buckets on from my excess reserve here. Save the bucket, see it slides off the pipe. The arm moves it into the blaze burner. So 4 of them will power every blaze burner that's underneath that thing. And you can see we got more buckets coming into circulation here. Oh, you see, so now, I think it ended up because I manually placed one, it didn't work. But now we're all full up, so this comparator is on. We have all 4 blaze burners running. We have our lava, excess lava right there. I don't know what to do with all these extra buckets. Maybe I can drain them back into the tank. But that's pretty much it. I'm going to add a bunch of buckets to the circulation just so we can keep full up here. This is now up and running. So we were at 2,000 stress units before. Now we're at 65,000. So that's probably 32 times more effective here with the heat on. And yeah, this thing is expandable, so I can just change this to a weighted ejector, add another steam engine, and I just got to add an arm and a funnel and all that good stuff. And it'll just keep going like that. But yeah, so that is our steam engine all set up here. That's going to be it for today's episode of Merm Minecraft. Thanks for tuning in, and thanks for your patience as I didn't have much motivation to play the game, although I'm kind of feeling it now. So maybe next episode will be faster, hopefully, now that I'm in the swing of things and I'm wanting to play Minecraft again. I added this little catwalk here. That's so that once we actually set this thing up and connect things to it, that's what this is for. That'll make my life easier so I can get the power running. And then I just finish that out with a little brick down there, and that's pretty much it. Next episode, I'm hoping to set up the top layer here. So that's going to be where we're going to have our encased fans. I'm planning to set that up. So like converting cobblestone into stone and some other stuff like that. It's going to be a smelting room, basically, a big super smelter that we're going to use for all that different stuff that we're going to be using all throughout this area. And that's what this like outside area is for. There's going to be a rail network. And so I'm hoping that that's what we're going to start on next episode, and it's going to use power from here. I counted out we can fit 5 more steam engines in here, so that's hopefully going to be plenty of power for the area. And our lava supply seems to be keeping up with this, so that's pretty good too. So yeah, that's going to be it for today. Thanks for tuning in. Drop that like and subscribe. Bye bye.